Jace Tunnell here. Today we're talking about steamship coal, and this is something I just found. I was looking along the high tide line up here, and I just found it. It was like, you know, sitting down like that and washed up. Now this isn't the only one I found today. I've been walking along the high tide line and found quite a few of these. And so I guess about 2 years ago, I was real interested in what in the world is this, because it's got like a brick look to it, and you think, man, that's got to be man-made or something like that, because it doesn't look like your typical coal that you would find just from people having fires at the beaches and stuff like that. So I did some digging, and it turns out that this is from steamships from back 1900s, early 20th century. They had this in the hull of the ships because that's what was their energy back then. And this is before like oil and gas. So this is what they were using to keep their ships going. And because of storms or accidents, there was a lot of them that sank in the Gulf of Mexico. And so, you know, whenever you find these washed up, it's because these are literally scattered along the ocean floor. And when there's a storm, they get pushed up onto our beaches. Okay, so let's look and see the pile that I found. And this is all within probably a mile of looking around. And so the one I was showing you earlier was really like a perfect block. Now these are the same material. They're not a perfect block. Same with this one, but the same kind of size. So I'm assuming whenever they were making all this stuff, you know, to be able to go into, you know, burning it to keep the boats going, that they were just crushing it up, and maybe it breaks up that way. I don't. If you know, you know, get a hold of me. Let me know. Okay. So, and here's some smaller ones that I found as well. So that's kind of the collection and what they look like for the ones that I found today. I have a field guide called Living Beaches, and it's by Witherington, and they're out of Florida. Man, that is when I first found out. That was kind of the first place I looked to see what these things are, and sure enough, bricks that look just like this are in there, and they describe what they are. So with that, I was able to get onto Google and really start looking into this. So man, what a fascinating piece of history we're able to find right here on our Texas beaches. So I guess next time you're out here, look for a chunk of this and you could just own a piece of history. Okay, so we all know that coal mining was like really, back in the early 1900s, it was nasty work, hard work, mining it out of the earth, you know, loading it onto the ships from barges, you know, one basket at a time into the ship, hours and hours of work, and then they finally figured out oil was a more efficient way to be able to, you know, run those big ships. It cost about 3 times as much, but it was very much cleaner without all the black dust going everywhere and the manpower it took to be able to load those things up. So I have an experiment, because, you know, coal was good in the fact that it was very hot and burned to be able to keep those ships going. But I found this fire. This was almost already made. I mean, the hole was here, the sticks were here. Somebody just left it overnight. I did bring some logs that I found on the beach last week. But I was gonna start a fire and burn some of this coal to see how hot it gets, and maybe roast some marshmallows. So let's get into trying to start this thing. Okay, we lit the fire, starting to burn. Now this took me longer than I thought to be able to start up. I mean, I was gonna do it at sunrise, but I was like 9:30. Okay, so what I'm gonna get, I got my bricks of coal that I found on the beach, and we're gonna pile these up in the fire. We're gonna see how hot it gets. Okay, we gotta get, I put one piece on there already. And it seems to be burning hot, hot, hot. Shoot. Okay. Woo! Let's put these suckers on there. I'm sure people are walking around here thinking I'm crazy, which I probably am. But all I'm thinking about is marshmallows. Now, whenever I cook my marshmallows, I like them to be roasted black, like burning. Oh shoot, those look good. And I'll tell you what, this coal seems to be burning pretty hot. No messing around. Dang, this is like perfect. Ah, now who else likes their marshmallows roasted over coal to the perfection? That's pretty amazing. Okay, now to try it. Oh. Ah. They're pretty good. I don't know why they make the marshmallows so big these days. Oh my gosh. They're pretty good though. Okay, let's get back to talking about these things. Yeah, I got all that coal on there. Now, one thing I always do after a campfire, and this is anybody, when your campfire's done, you need to get a bucket and fill it up with water. Make sure the fire is all the way out, then cover it up. There is a problem with people digging really big holes and sea turtles either, coming up to nest, or if they're coming out of the ground and going towards the water, which happens because we don't always find all the nest every year, they can fall in here and they can't get out. So it's always important. And people driving up and down the beach, they hit one of these holes, woo, bad news. And I've stepped on a hot fire before the next day. So somebody had one at nighttime. They just covered it up with sand without putting water on it. I stepped on it, couldn't walk for like 3 days. So make sure you cover it all up once you're done. But I think for this episode of Beachcombing, being able to see if this coal actually does burn hot enough for marshmallows, it gets an A+. Okay, so that's it for this episode of Beachcombing. I hope you enjoyed learning a little bit about history. And if you find some of these chunks of coal washing up, you know that they're probably about 100 years old. All right, with that, we'll talk to you on the next episode. We'll talk to you later. Bye.